and welcome to the Forbes India Cover Story podcast series in association with theindicast.com. My name is Abhishek, and this issue's cover takes a look at the emerging hubs in India that are punching above their weight. Joining me on the call is Forbes India's Rajiv Singh, who has chronicled the stories of businesses from four such cities: Jaipur, Raipur, Chandigarh, and Indore. Hi Rajiv, always fun to have you on the podcast.
Hey Abhishek, great talking to you, man.
In your overview article, you say that big cities are in big mess and smaller cities are emerging as the next big opportunity. Why is it that you think small towns do better?
A loss for big city is a big gain for small towns. Big cities are in big mess precisely because of the crumbling infrastructure. So how much time do you think it takes from Mumbai airport to reach to the heart of the city, or Bangalore airport to reach to the heart of the city? It kills you. It not only kills you mentally, but it also kills you physically. And there is a cascading effect, Abhishek. It's not only about the time and the productivity that is killed by being stuck in the traffic. So it takes a toll on your work-life balance. It takes a toll on your personal life as well. You reach home late. There is no work-life balance. Put this in sharp contrast to smaller towns and cities. There is very little traffic mess. Infrastructure is good. Startup ecosystem is blossoming. VCs are putting in money there, and entrepreneurs they're very glad to either set up the base from there, or the ones who migrated from all these places to go to big places like Bangalore, Mumbai, or Delhi are going back.
True. So and you also write, and you've been to Indore to cover a few stories from there, and you say that the time taken to reach the Zanjeerwala Square, which is an important hub in Indore, from the international airport, which is 11 kilometers away, it just takes 25 minutes during peak hours.
Indore, typically, Domino's would love to sponsor Indore, I can say that, if I might. Because, Domino's what is Domino's selling proposition? You get fresh, hot pizza in less than 30 minutes.
Right.
This is what Indore and other smaller cities are all about. At max, it will take you 30 minutes. I'm saying at max to reach any corner of the city, even during peak hours.
Can you give a few examples of companies that have moved their headquarters from bigger cities to cities like Jaipur, Raipur, Chandigarh, Indore?
The better examples would be, when people were given an option to choose between Mumbai and Indore or any other place, and they have selected Indore, that would be a great example. For example, let's start with Shop Kirana. So when they started, they had this option of either starting in Mumbai or in Indore, and they did pilot at both the places. And pilot was successful. It's not that Mumbai was not successful. But finally, what made them, take a call in favor of Indore was a couple of less operational cost, high quality of life, work-life balance, good quality infrastructure. Imagine a fledgling startup starting in Mumbai. Would they have given themselves a chance to survive? Because operational cost would have been definitely high. Very, very high, insanely high.
One is costs, you mentioned, Rajiv. What about the people? I think I read somewhere where an entrepreneur is talking about that there is a little more loyalty among the youngsters when they join these startups.
Car Dekho is one such example. The guy started in Jaipur, and it was not by design but by default. His Jan brothers, Amit and Anurag, they started from Jaipur because they had to come back from US because their father had been detected with a cancer. So they came back, and then unfortunately they had to start from the city. Initially they tried to look for a job. There was none, because Jaipur was not known to offer, all these IT geeks high-paying jobs. And then he dabbled with so many other ventures, turned entrepreneur, and had stuck to the city for last so many years. So Amit has a very interesting take on starting from small cities, which he said it's small town values or mentality. Small town values mean you have hunger for growth, but you're also loyal. It means you don't do job hopping after every 6 months, a year, or 2 years. Which also means the attrition rate comes down largely for all these startups. The amount of money and time they spend in, teaching all the new recruits, it's a big saving.
Is it easy, difficult for these companies to attract talent and get them to relocate to these tier 2 cities?
There is a blessing also. All the smaller cities, most of them are good educational hubs. If you look at Rajasthan, Jaipur, Kota, all these places, they have been a great places that produce many IITians and all the medical grads. So in terms of fresh talent, there's never an issue. In terms of senior talent, lateral movement, definitely when Kar Dekho and other guys started, there was a big issue. People didn't want to, come back to Jaipur. But now, because when these guys have done it, proved it, now people are having second thought. For example, Amit and Anurag, again of Kar Dekho, they have started a campaign called, come back to Jaipur. Jaipur Chalo. And they're reaching out to all IITians, all IM grads who were once, either part of the city or the state and have moved out eventually over the last decade or so. Now they're reaching out to them and trying to make them come back to the city, which makes sense.
Right. Well, at least the venture capitalists have heard them in that they've raised $180 million through VCs. So they have been able to convince those even Silicon Valley, Sequoia capitals of the world to invest in them.
Yeah. Yeah, because VCs, you talk to any VCs, so you can't blame them for being biased, because 10 years back or 5 years back, if they were only looking at startups from top cities, it was precisely because people were starting from top cities and there was opportunity over there. And now when they see all these entrepreneurs, emerging from all these smaller places, there is an opportunity and VC will put the money where the mouth is.
How does this reflect in the performance of some of these companies that you've met? How much of their success is attributed to the location that they're from? Whether it were Jaipur or Jamshedpur, does it matter?
See, location alone can't guarantee success, to be very honest. But location does play a very important part in the overall performance of the business. If you've got your business basics right, then location definitely has a amplify effect in what you do. All these ventures, they're all in the expand. For example, Kar Dekho or Shop Kirana or any other example that is there in the package. These are in the expansion phases. And when you are in that phase, you tend to put in more money. So your bottom line will bleed, but at the same time, top line is also growing. Top line is not stagnated. They are not a profitable venture and no startups in the early phase. That's why we are calling it baby corn.
What are some of the other companies that caught your attention while you were on the ground and reporting for this?
So in Indore, there was Shop Kirana. And then there is this company called Vayu India, which is a very interesting company. Has struggled initially because, it didn't have capital, took loan from the bank. But gradually over the last 2 years, it has picked up and counts, biggies like A.R. Rahman as its, consumer. The biggest USP of this startup is green energy and technology. So they produce hybrid ACs and coolers, which they claim to be 40% more efficient than the normal ACs and coolers in the market. There is another company from Jaipur called Voila, which is an artificial jewelry design company. 100 crore company in 10 years and still managing a rapid pace of growth from Jaipur is again interesting.
Are the government regulations also just about friendly for folks to set shops there?
The kind of startup push that government has been giving over the last 5 years, definitely it has helped a lot. But alone, as I said, no single factor can be, attributed for the success of all these places emerging as startups up. It has to be a combination of multiple factors. And definitely government push is one of the factors. The biggest thing, Abhishek, which I noticed is people always had this entrepreneurial dream. They always had that aspiration. But somewhere last 5 years, 10 years, the thought of making it big was confined to cities. This thought is no longer prevalent, dominant. Now it's very clear that you can start from small city and make it big.
How did you guys piece and string together the reporting from these various cities?
So my colleagues across India, they traveled extensively. From Mumbai, somebody went to Northeast. Then from Bangalore, people went to Coimbatore. Then Pune was also a part, Hyderabad also. So, all the reporters across Forbes India bureaus, they traveled extensively to piece this entire issue together. So it's not only about Indore, Jaipur, Chandigarh and Raipur. It's a pan-India thing and would not have been possible without the fabulous support of all my colleagues.
Excellent. It's come out brilliantly, and we are urging all the listeners to pick this issue up and give your feedback on Forbes India. And you know where to find this podcast on Forbes India as well as on iTunes. And to have someone call you for a Forbes India subscription, message Forbes to 51818.